Haruna paced outside the delivery room. His brow was drenched in sweat, worry etched on his face. 4 years, 4 children, all girls. Each time, the same crushing disappointment, the burden of providing a male heir, a heavy weight on his shoulders. He loved his daughters, he truly did. But tradition whispered different tales. Haruna was a bus driver in Lagos, a city that never sleeps. The cacophony of car horns and hawkers' calls usually faded into background noise. But today, every sound grated on his nerves. He could hear his mother's voice laced with disdain. A man who doesn't have a son is like a tree without roots. He peeked into the room. His wife, Amina, lay on the bed, weak but radiant, a small bundle in her arms. His heart sank. Another girl. He had hoped this time would be different. He had prayed, fasted, even visited a babalawo, a traditional priest. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. The weight of his ancestors pressed down on him. Their voices echoed in his ears. Carry on the family name. Secure the lineage. A son, Haruna, you need a son. Amina smiled, a tired but happy smile. She's beautiful, Haruna, just like her sisters. Her voice was a gentle murmur, but it felt like a thunderclap to Haruna. He forced a smile, his stomach churning with a potent mix of disappointment and shame. He walked towards her, each step heavy with unspoken words. Amina's eyes, bright with the miracle of birth, searched his face. She saw the flicker of joy, quickly replaced by a familiar shadow. Her heart, light moments ago, began to sink. Another girl? He finally choked out, the words tasting like ash in his mouth. Amina felt a chill run down her spine. The baby, oblivious to the tension, gurgled softly. The sound, usually music to her ears, felt like a discordant note in the symphony of their crumbling hopes. She's a blessing, Haruna, Amina whispered, her voice trembling. But even as she said the words, she knew they rang hollow. Not to her, but to a society that measured a man's worth by the number of sons he fathered. The whispers started even before they left the hospital. Haruna saw the pitying glances, heard the hushed tones. Another girl? Ah, poor Haruna. He felt stripped bare, his manhood questioned with every syllable. He loved his daughters, he truly did, but today they felt like shackles, binding him to failure. He remembered his friends' taunts, masked as jokes. Haruna, you need to be strong like a lion and give us a boy. Even strangers, men he met at the bus park, felt entitled to comment on his family. When are you giving us a junior Haruna to continue your legacy? The pressure was relentless, suffocating. It felt like the entire world was complicit in this conspiracy to break him. He started to withdraw, seeking solace in bottles of beer and late-night conversations with other men who carried the same burden of unmet expectations. He loved Amina, he truly did, but he couldn't stand the pity in her eyes, the silent understanding that they had failed to live up to society's script. He stood outside the hospital room, his hands shaking. He looked at his daughter's face, a perfect miniature of Amina's. He should feel joy, gratitude, but all he felt was a suffocating sense of inadequacy. He looked at Amina, her eyes closed in exhaustion. Her once vibrant face was now etched with lines of worry and silent pain. He knew he should stay, be the husband and father his family needed. But the whispers, the societal judgment, it all felt too heavy to bear. Without a word, he turned and walked away. Each step away from the hospital was a step further into the abyss of his own making. Amina woke to an eerie silence. She looked at the empty space beside her, the crib that held her daughter moments ago, also empty. Her heart hammered in her chest. She stumbled out of bed, her legs shaky. Her eyes darted around the room, desperately searching for a sign, a note, anything. But there was nothing, only the deafening silence and the crushing realization that she was alone. Again.